Hello, I welcome you all to today's School at 5. And in today's School at 5, this is what we are talking about. I believe people have joined in. This is what we are going to talk about. So I want you to understand everything that I'm going to say. I want you to understand each and every point that I'm going to explain in this particular lesson. So this is School at 5, where we are talking about different things, where we are talking about chemistry, mathematics, and physics. So in today's lesson, this is what we are talking about. This is chemical equations, chemistry. So tomorrow we'll be looking at physics. So make sure that you stay tuned. Tomorrow is physics. So make sure that you stay tuned. And today, this is chemistry. Now, chemical equations. How do we come up with chemical equations? How can you write a chemical equations? For you to write a chemical equation, you need to understand that for a chemical equation to be formed, two things should react together. So we are going to start with this. A chemical equation is like this. When A and B react together, they get to form product C and plus what? Plus D. So this is a type of an equation that we are talking about. So when these two react together, so thank you so much. Madam Mildred is connected. Good morning, Madam. Good morning. So this is an equation that you get to talk about. This one is called a chemical equation. So when A plus B react together, they get to form C and what? C and D. So mostly, these type of equations are called double decomposition. Get this. These type of equations are called what? Double decomposition. Mostly, they are called double decomposition or double displacement. So where this one is reacting with that one to form that. So mostly these type of equations are called what? Mostly we get to call them double what? Displacement. This is what I want you to understand. Mostly we get to call them what? Double displacements equations. So these are just type of equations that you need to understand. But whenever you've got something like this, let's say, so it can be double displacement or it can also be single. So it can be double and it can also be what? Single. There is also what we get to call something like a decomposition, thermal decomposition, for example, where one compound, for example, this is A, is broken down to what? Is broken down to B plus what? Plus C. So meaning mostly this type of equation that get to do this, mostly we get to call them what? They undergo what we call thermal decomposition. So the whole thing here is to understand the concept. So I want you to understand the concept. So the whole thing here is understanding the concept. So on this one, obviously, we've got this type of equations like this. We also have this type of equations. We also have a type of an equation where when these two gets to react, when two reactants, so these are called, this one, the A and the B, these ones are called the reactants. These are called reactants. Make sure you understand that. These are called the reactants, A, B. And these which are produced, it can be there, these two are called and products. What is produced and what is making the product to be produced? Reactants. Okay, let me do something here. Something has just happened. Okay, I'm back like this. So this is what I'm doing. Just that we don't have power. So I'm using the torchlight. This is just a torchlight, but we don't have power here. So this is what I want you to understand. So I'm saying that these are reactants. These two are called reactants, and these two are called products. These are products. So I was saying that there are those type of equations where one thing like this is broken down to this. And we've got a type of an equation where if A plus B reacts together, they just get to produce one thing like this. They just get to produce one thing. So this is what you need to understand. This is what you need to know. So this type of equations, sometimes they can be called what? Oxidation reactions. Sometimes. Have you seen? For example, we have a chemical equation like carbon dioxide, carbon reacting with what? Carbon dioxide. What is formed this side will just be one thing we are calling what? Carbon dioxide. So when carbon reacts with oxygen, what is produced is what? Carbon dioxide. Only one thing. So now you ask yourself, is this equation balanced? This equation is not balanced. So is this equation balanced? Oh, it is balanced. You check. Carbon here, 1. Carbon there, how many? 1. Oxygen here, 2. Oxygen there, what? 2. So meaning that this type of an equation is balanced. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to get and understand. Elizabeth connected. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So these are some of the things that I want you to understand even before we look at an equation, how to generate a chemical equation. You need to know this. So we've got elements from group 7 of the periodic table. So elements from group 7 of the periodic table are called halogens. Make sure you understand this. Are called what? Halogens. We get to call them halogens. So those elements are called halogens. The reason why they are called halogens, it is because they get to do what? They get to form the atomic molecules. So they get to form the atomic atoms. I'll call them the atomic atom. The atomic, like this, the atomic atoms. Which means that, for example, chlorine is in group 7. You discover that when I write chlorine, I'm going to put a 2 here. All those that are in group 7, they get to form the atomic atoms like this. They're going to have like a 2 here. But those ones like hydrogen gets to have a 2. Oxygen gets to have a 2 like that. Because these are what? These are gases. This is what you need to know and understand. So anytime you are writing hydrogen that is just standing alone, you put a 2 there. And oxygen there, you put a 2 when it is just alone like that. This is what you need to understand. For example, they give you an equation to say that hydrogen is reacting with what? Oxygen. What is being produced this side is water. This is an equation that you need to know and understand. Have you seen? So these two are reacting together to produce one compound there. So now what you need to know and what you need to understand is this. This is what you need to know. So this is hydrogen. How are you going to write hydrogen? Hydrogen like this. It is reacting with what? Oxygen. Oxygen, you also write it like this. What is being produced? What is being produced is water. So when these two react, I just did chemical formulas. So how is this being produced? Hydrogen like this, oxygen like this. Oxygen has got a 2 minus, this one has a plus. So their valences are going to interchange. These two goes there, H 2, the 1 goes there. So 1 doesn't affect anything. So what is produced is here H2O. This is an equation. Have you seen? We've formed an equation. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to understand. So these are equations that we are writing. This is an equation. Is this equation balanced? You balance it. No. You check. Hydrogen 2. Hydrogen 2. Oxygen 2. Oxygen 1. There is only 1. So how do you balance this? You put a 2 here. The same way I'm balancing. I want you to get the point. So oxygen here, it is now having 2. Hydrogen, it has now 4. Plus this 2 times 2, 4. So hydrogen 4, but the oxygen is balanced. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a 2 here so that hydrogen can become a 4 and oxygen 2. Even there, oxygen 2, hydrogen 4. So meaning that this equation is now what? Is now balanced. So this is how we get to form chemical equations. These are things that you need to know. These are important parts that you need to get and understand whenever we are talking about chemical equations. So I want you to know this. I want you to understand this very well. So let us now continue with our chemical equations, how to write chemical equations. So I'm going to put down small, I'll start with the simple ones so that we keep on advancing like that. I'll start with those ones that are not that difficult. So what you need to know and understand, so let us look at this. So I'm going to say 1. So I'll write them like this. I'll say when magnesium plus. So magnesium reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. So dilute sulfuric acid. I won't predict the products that are formed. We are going to write them. 2, we've got something that we call, let's say, sodium nitrate reacts. So sodium nitrate reacts with so it is going to react with so let me say barium. So let me say barium like this. Okay, barium. I'll say barium some okay, this one, that's not barium. So I'll say barium chloride. So I just want to predict what is being produced. Okay, let's just start with just these 2. We see how we are going to go about this. So I can see Mr. Sam saying connected from Monze town, live and clear. Thank you so much. Sir Austin saying morning, sir. Okay, so these are 2 equations. These are equations that I want us to generate chemical equations. So now questions will be coming like this. It is not always that they will tell you that this is the reactants and the products. It is not always. So you are given this. Let me put down another one here so that they just become 3. So I will say sodium hydroxide sodium hydroxide reacts. So sodium hydroxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric. So this is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid. These are the three equations that want us to write. So starting with the first one, we are on this one. So I want you to understand this very well, even as I make this very simple. These are the foundations that you need to know. This is what you need to know and understand. So magnesium reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. This is magnesium. Magnesium is a metal. So you say magnesium is like this. Is reacting with what? Dilute sulfuric acid. So dilute sulfuric acid is just like this. So some compounds, you just need to know them. So if you never knew sulfuric acid, this is how we get to write sulfuric acid. This is what? This is sulfuric acid, if you never knew. So this is sulfuric acid giving us what products? So meaning that these two are called reactants. These two are called reactants. Magnesium metal and dilute sulfuric acid, they are called reactants. So this is magnesium that is reacting with dilute sulfuric acid. What are the products this side? What are we going to produce? What will happen is that this magnesium is going to replace what? Is going to replace hydrogen. So when hydrogen is put there, what you're going to form will be magnesium sulfate. So the question is, how then do we write magnesium sulfate? So this is what is going to happen. This one, when it goes this side, it is going to replace that one. This one will be replaced so that this one can go there. Have you seen? So that you get to form magnesium sulfate. Hydrogen will be replaced. So hydrogen will be replaced. We get this and react it with that. So when magnesium reacts with sulfate, what is produced? So I just want to revise with you, but these things, I did them. So magnesium is in group 2. So meaning that it is 2 plus. So if you are facing challenges on this, you can just scroll down my page. I've been doing this for quite some time now. And sulfate is like this. It has a 2 minus. So these two are just going to cancel. You are going to have magnesium sulfate, which is like this. Magnesium what? Magnesium sulfate. Plus this hydrogen will now come this side. We have got hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas will be produced. So you are going to have something that will be like this. This is what you are going to form. An equation that will be like this. So this is an equation that you are going to form. So with this type of an equation now, you now discover that when this is what I want to tell you now. Even as we get to advance, even some things you just need to know them. You get to understand the products, what are produced. So I want you to understand this. Have you seen when a metal reacts with an acid, what is produced? We get to call it a what? A salt. So even as we get to advance in this good subject, you discover that this is what, when you start looking at salts, you are going to get this. So make sure that you understand this. You can have a question like a metal plus acid. You produce a salt plus hydrogen gas. Exactly like this. So even when I tell you that sodium reacts with nitric acid, what is produced? You already know the results. Nitric acid plus sodium. Meaning that what is produced is what? Sodium nitrate. So meaning, okay, sodium nitrate is being produced. Meaning sodium nitrate is a salt. And which else should be produced? Hydrogen gas should come out. So know this. Some of these things should enter your blood. You just need to know them. You know that So these are equations that you're going to be encountering. You know that when a metal, this is a metal, reacts with an acid, what is produced is a salt. By definition, we know that a salt is a compound formed when the hydrogen ion of an acid are fully or partially replaced by a metal or ammonium. This is what a salt is. So if you are taught to define a salt, you just say it in this way. You say a salt is just a compound that is formed when the hydrogen ion of an acid are fully or partially replaced by a metal or ammonium. So a metal or ammonium of an acid, hydrogen ion of an acid, by definition, you know that an acid is a compound formed when hydrogen are dissolved, or when dissolved, they get to produce hydrogen as the only positively charged particles. So when you dissolve, if this is an acid, you get acid, you dissolve it in water, you discover that you are going to produce hydrogen as the only positively charged particle. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm meaning here. So when a metal reacts with an acid, what is formed is a salt plus hydro, exactly like this. Have you seen? This is what you need to know. So we are saying that when a metal, so you can have a chemical equation like this. So we are done with this one. We are done. You can have a chemical equation like this. So I just want you to get this. This is another one. It is not this one. You can have an equation like when this is sodium, when sodium reacts with nitric acid like this. This is nitric acid. What is produced here? You already know that this is a metal. That is a what? That is a metal. So when a metal reacts with an acid, this is an acid. When a metal reacts with an acid, what is produced is a salt. What is the name of that salt? Sodium nitrate. How do we write sodium nitrate? Like this. This is sodium what? Nitrate. Plus what? Hydrogen gas. So whenever you are writing these equations, you don't even need to say, okay, how are the products going to be formed? They get to be formed just this way that I'm writing them. This is how you need to understand them. So this is how things should move. This is how things should go. So this is how you need to get this. This is how you need to you ask yourself, is this balanced? Is this equation balanced? Hydrogen here 2, hydrogen here 1. So mostly when you want to balance, you start from hydrogen. This one that is here at the end, you always start with that one. If there is water here, you start with the compound that is there. This is what? This is 2. This is 1. So when you put a 2 here, I want you to understand. Whenever we just put a 2 here, meaning that for hydrogen is balanced, but for this one here, nitrate, we have tempered with it. Have you seen? Here we just have 1. So you also put a 2 here. You put a 2. When you put a 2 here, this one is balanced. Hydrogen is also balanced. But sodium we've put a 2. So meaning we also need to include a 2 there. So that we say sodium 2, sodium 2. Hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2. In this one, any 2 there. Have you seen? Any 2 there. This one is 6. 3 times 2, 6. Oxygen 6. Even oxygen 2 times 3. Oxygen 6. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to understand. So the whole point here is that when a metal reacts with an acid, what is formed is a salt plus what? Hydrogen gas. This is what you need to know. Exactly the same. Then we move to the other part. We move to this one. Let us move to this one. Sodium nitrate reacts with, so it reacts with, gets to reacts with, it reacts with what? barium chloride. So how do we write sodium nitrate? So if you didn't understand the previous lessons which I was doing, make sure that you revisit them, because these stuffs, if you don't know them, how to form these chemical formulas. Last time I was looking at chemical formulas. So I'm going to assume that everyone that is watching this, they all understand chemical formulas. So this is School at 5. Make sure that every day 05 you join in. If you want to be part of my online lessons, this is my number. You call me on this number. I add you to the group. You just need to pay 100 kwacha for science, both chemistry and physics. If you have mathematics, it is also 100 kwacha. You get to call me on that specific number. Then I will add you to the group. So I don't add any person to the group without paying. The first thing you need to do is to make a deposit. So you make a deposit, then I add you to the group. So this is what is happening. Sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate is like this. Sodium nitrate reacts with what? What is the other reactant? Barium chloride. Barium chloride is like this. This is barium chloride. What are the products now? I want to give you a secret. This is a secret that I'm about to give you. Whenever you've got that type of an equation, have you seen that type of an equation? You just say this one, a compound one, you say 1. This one, you just say 2. This is like a shortcut that will help you know the product. You say 1. This other one, you say 2. Get this secret. This is the secret. So you know that 1 should go with a 2. Have you seen the one that is here? Should go with a 2 that is that side. So sodium is reacting with chlorine. So when sodium reacts with chlorine, what is formed is sodium chloride. Plus, these 2 will go with that one. So what is going to be formed here? Barium nitrate. So barium is like this, 2 plus. Nitrate is like this, a minus there. So their valences are going to interchange. So when valences interchange, this 2 goes there, this one comes there. So you're going to have barium like this, then nitrate in brackets like this, then a 2. So this is what? Barium nitrate. So plus barium nitrate and a 2 there. That is the what? The products. So that is what you are supposed to do. This is a secret that I've told you. You don't even need to struggle. You say this is sodium, you just name it 1. This other one, you name it 2. You go to this one. The first one here, 1. The second one there, 2. Then this one will go with that 2 that is there. So there should be 1, 2, 2, 1. This is what you need to do. If you want, you can start with but the key thing here, the 1 that is here should go with the 2 that is there. You should not get 1, 1 or 2, 2. No. The 1 should go with the 2. 2 there should go with the 1, so that they've been pair 1, 2, 2, 1, like that. So this is how you get to form that. So this is a chemical equation that I've written here. Have you seen? This is a chemical equation. Now you balance it. How are you going to balance this? In which way are you going to balance this? So you check. This side, nitrate is 2. Have you seen? This nitrate is having a 2 here. But this nitrate is having a what? Is having a 1. So you are going to put a 2 here. You put a 2 there. So when you put a 2 there, even sodium is affected, but nitrate is balanced. Sodium is affected, but nitrate is balanced, so which is good. How can we balance sodium? We put a 2 here. So sodium is balanced, even here balanced. Chlorine 2, chlorine 2. Barium 1, barium 1. So meaning that this equation is balanced. But in this lesson, I'm not talking so much on how to balance equations. I just want you to know how to form chemical equations. So I've just started from here. This is how I get to balance. So I just want everyone to adapt to the way I get to answer questions. So I'm not talking about how to balance, how to do this, but even as I'm doing this, I just want you to have a picture. When I start looking at balancing chemical equations, you are now going to have a full picture on this. So this is what you need to know. Have you seen the same way I've constructed this equation? This is how you also need to be constructing. This is how we get to form this. So whenever you see just this 1, 2, 1, 2, then 1, 2 will go there, 2, 1. You know the products. You don't even need to struggle. You don't even need to say, how am I going to answer this? No, you should not do that. We move to the last one. So this one is called double displacement. It is called double displacement, the 2. Then 3 is saying sodium hydroxide reacts with what? Dilute hydrochloric acid. So it reacts with, so it is reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid. So the products that are formed, we don't know, but we can predict them. So follow me clearly. This is a base. Sodium hydroxide is a base. Dilute hydrochloric acid, you are even told there acid. So this is an acid. So this is a reaction between a base and an acid. Whenever you just see a reaction like this, a base is a compound formed when dissolved in water, produces an hydroxide as the only negatively charged particle. So it is going to produce an hydroxide. So it is producing an hydroxide as the only negatively charged particle. This is what you need to know. This is a base. An acid, when dissolved in water, it is going to produce hydrogen as the only positively charged. So this one is producing what we call hydrogen as the only positively charged. When we move to this, what is being produced is hydroxide as the only negatively charged particle. So a reaction between a base and an acid is called a neutralization reaction. So if a person tells you what is a neutralization reaction, a neutralization reaction is a reaction between a base and an acid. Get this. So a reaction between a base and an acid, we get to call it a neutralization reaction. So in this case, whenever you've got a neutralization reaction, what we get to produce is a salt and water. Just this. So you already know the products. This is the importance of knowing these things. You already know the products, that a base and an acid, we need to form a salt and water. You know, just get a salt plus water. So what you're going to do is that, what sodium hydroxide is like this. This is how sodium hydroxide is reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid. Dilute hydrochloric acid is like this. To form what? So what is going to be formed? You can do this. 1, this one, 2, this one is standing alone, 1, this one here, 2. You can do that. Hope you are able to see those numbers that I'm putting there. You can do that. There is no problem. Then 1 will go with the 2 here. So sodium chloride will be produced. Then hydroxide plus hydrogen, it's water. So I can just do this. So this is what is being produced. That is a what? That is a chemical equation that you need to know and understand. So mostly, these equations are balanced. Mostly, the equations of neutralizations are balanced. So this is an equation for what? Neutralization. Hope you've seen how we get to write this. The key thing here is knowing what we call chemical formula. So if you don't know chemical formulas, this may be challenging to you. Chemical formulas are very important whenever we are talking about chemical equations. So the prerequisite knowledge that you need to have is this one on what? Chemical formulas. So that you can be perfect in these things. So we end here for this particular lesson. Those of you that wants to join me, you can call me on that number. You text me. So the first thing you need to do, you text me. Don't send messages using Facebook on my Facebook account. No. Send them to my WhatsApp or direct Telegram. It is good if you just send it direct to my Telegram. I will just respond quickly. I know that anything that is done via Telegram is serious business. So Telegram, online lessons are conducted using Telegram. Mathematics 20 hours, science 21 hours on a daily basis from Monday to Friday. So now, this is what gets to happen. So you deposit in this same account, then this is the same WhatsApp number, and this is the same number that I get to use on Telegram. If you want another number, my MTN line, I can give you just 0760 897150. The name's Harrison Zulu. That is the account that you need to use for payments. So this is what you need to do. These are some of the things that you need to understand. So thank you so much for joining in. We end here. This is where we are going to end from. Thank you so much. This is School at 5. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to like. Thank you so much.